Gitu. Tadi. Sekarang. So dia akan nampak macam tu lah. Okay. So ada bunyi tak? So ada bunyi tak? So, good evening. Today we will learn topic matter. In this topic, we will learn the state of matter and the conversions of matter between a matter. So first, we look at the definitions of matter. The definitions of matter is anything that occupies space and have mass. So matter can be divided into two things, which is elements and compound. Elements can be atoms or molecules. Atoms is the smallest particles of an element, whereas molecules, two or more atoms that are chemically bonded together. For example, atoms, it's only one concrete, discrete atoms. But for a molecule, it can be the combinations of two same atoms. Okay, for a compound can be a molecule or an ion. So where an ion is particles that are positively or negatively charged. For a molecule can be an element or can be a compound. Molecules that we can call as element when it consists of the same atom. But we call it as a compound when it have different atoms combined together. So we call it as a molecule. Next, we move to the ion. Ion that are positively or negatively charged particles. So for positive ion, we call it as a cation. Cation form when atoms lose one or more electrons. Whereas, for example, we have an atom. When the atom lose one or more electron, it will be a positive ion, where we can call this one as a cation. Next, we have a negative ion, where we can call it as an anion. This compound form when atoms gain one or more electron. For example, we have an atom and they gain one electron. So once it's gained the electron, it will turn into negative ion. Next, we move to the kinetic theory of matter. So what kinetic theory of matter told us about? So kinetic theory of matter states that matter consists of tiny discrete particles that are constantly vibrating and moving. So that means these tiny particles, discrete particles, are constantly vibrating and moving. It depends the state of matter. Either it can just vibrate or moving. So let's see. Here we have a big balloon. So there is a lot of particles inside the balloon where this balloon keep constantly moving randomly. So the kinetic theory of matter is based on three assumptions, whereas the first assumption is matter is composed of small particles that move in a random motions and collide with one another. Number two, there are attractive forces between the particles when they are close together. So that means when they're close together, there are attractive force. And the third one is the movement of particles is affected by heat. So that means when we put heat to these particles, it can move faster. Next, you can see here, this is the particle arrangement in an atom. So we can compare the kinetic energy of different state of matter. We have here is solid, liquid, and also a gas. Where solid, the particles are arranged closely packed and there's very strong attractions between the particles. Versus the liquid, where liquids, the particles are arranged slightly further apart, packed, and less attractions between the particles. What about gas? Gas, the particles are far apart from one another and there is a weak intermolecular force between the particles. So solid, liquid, and gas. Next, we move to the state of matter. As we know, we have three states of matter and plus one, which is the quantum. So, but here we just discuss three state of matter, basic state of matter, which is we have a solid, we have a liquid, and the conversion from a solid to a liquid we call as a melting. And we have gas. The conversions of liquid to gas we call as boiling, and we also have the other one which is evaporation. And the conversion of gas into a liquid we call as condensation. And from a liquid to a solid we call as freezing. If the solid convert into a gas directly into a gas, so we call it as a sublimation, and the conversions of gas into a solid we call also as a sublimation. This one is involving the dry ice. From this one we can see the orange one from the solid to a liquid to a gas. This process involves energy absorbed, involve absorptions of energy, whereas from the gas to a liquid to a solid, this one involves heat release. So this is the fourth state of matter, which is a plasma. So what is plasma is? Plasma is the fourth state of matter instead of solid, liquid, and gas. So what is plasma? Plasma is an ionized gas. So plasma is rarely found on Earth, but its state of matter is mostly found in the universe, outside the universe. So most stars exist as plasma. As for your information, next we move to diffusions. Okay, what is diffusions? Diffusions refer to the process of particle movement from one place to another as a result of the kinetic energy possessed by the particles. So that means you can see that the particle Y are moving, disperse. So diffusions occur when the particles from an area with high concentrations move to an area of low concentrations. And the rate of diffusion depends on the temperature and the molecular mass of the particles. So this is the experiment. So not proceed with this. Okay, I think we stop it here.